morning, YouTube. So, yesterday, I was on the bus, and everyone that's tomorrow. So I'm just going to give you a rundown what's going on, and give you a rundown what's going on with me with the gang stalking and stuff. So yesterday, I want to keep everything on YouTube or whatever, a documentary of what's going on, because like people need to know, and just in case I need to like go to the cops or whatnot, or whatever, like they will know what's going on with me, whatever, if they are not involved or whatnot. So basically yesterday I was I was on my way home, and I have gang stalkers, but now it's not as many, because I'm doing like a YouTube page, and like people that are gang stalking or that are in my situation are actually reaching out to me, and telling me how to do certain things. I'm looking on YouTube pages, and I'm like getting information from different sites and different people, of how to like stop myself from getting involved in certain things, and like trying to stop myself from getting myself into different, sorry, stopping myself from getting into different conflicts. But in this particular conflict, it was different. So when I was on the bus, um, I was sitting down on the bus, and um, I was looking at the window, whatever, and it was like a group of people, maybe like a group of teens or young people. They were younger than me. I'm older than I'm actually 28. So they're older than me. I didn't have my daughter at the time, and so when I was on the bus, I was just sitting there, and I was just looking at the window, and they were making a lot of noise. It was banging, screaming, yelling, and stuff like that. It was being very obnoxious and very like crazy, whatever. And I just happened to be in the back with them, so I looked, and then I just like ignored them, right? And then everybody else was like really looking at them, like what's going on with them, why they're acting like that, and stuff like that. And then while I was sitting on the bus, it was two girls, and there was like two males. So one girl, she was sitting like, I turned around, one girl was sitting across from me, and the other girl was sitting behind me. And so when I turned, they was staring at me, like they was like I guess she was looking on the phone, and she was staring like that, and she was like really like crazy staring. At that moment, like I didn't know like what was going on, because it got very quiet. And so when I turned, she was like staring, looking at me, whatever, and then the other girl was staring and looking at me too, and then the guys in the back was very quiet. So I turned again, because I was like, okay, maybe they're just staring, whatever, maybe she'll look away. But when I turned again, she didn't look away. She kept staring. She kept, not grilling, but that's the hood word, the hood word. But she was really like staring at me. And so I asked the young lady. I asked her like, why are you looking at me? Why are you staring? And she was looking like, I'm on my phone. What are you talking about? I'm on my phone. So I ignored her, whatever, and I stared at her, but it was kind of like uncomfortable, because you're staring at me, she's behind me, looking crazy, and then there's other two males that's in the back. So I kind of felt uncomfortable at that situation. I just made sure that I had like something on me, my mace or whatever, because it's like a mob of people surrounding me right now. So she goes in her bag, and I'm looking at her, and she goes in her bag, and she's like, "Oh, I got something too." So she pulls out a scissor, like a scissor, whatever. She had a scissor in her hand, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm about that life. I'm about that life, and now I'll do you right here on this bus, and this is my hood." So from what my understanding was, like I wasn't even trying to like make it seem like it was like really hood for me, and it was too crazy at that moment because I just felt like it shouldn't like escalated to that point, but she was staring and she was making me feel very uncomfortable at the time, and so I didn't know like who like what made her do that all of a sudden, but she did. So at that moment, I knew that okay, something must have happened. I don't know. She must have felt some type of way about me, whatever. And I don't really bother anyone. I just mind my business. But at that time, I just like I had to protect myself, from whatever she felt, however she felt about me. So she said, I'm gonna get off the bus. I didn't say too much, whatever. I just let her talk, whatever she was gonna talk. As she was talking, she was trying to get like closer to me. So I was sitting down and she was getting closer to me while I was sitting on the bus. And that's when I got up because, I feel like I don't want you in my space. So if you have your weapon on you, you have your weapon secured, you have your weapon in your hand, I don't know what you're gonna do. So I don't want you near me, I don't want you next to me, I don't want you next to me. While I got up or whatever, the sister, she was in my face and she basically told me, "You're not gonna be in her space. You're not gonna be doing stuff like that. You're not gonna be in my sister's face." So I said, she's in my face, and I should have, as a mature person, I should have like walked to the front, but because I felt like like it just transpired so fast, like I just could have just avoided like that, but it just happened so fast. So while me getting off the bus, she's like, "Oh, when I'm get off the bus, I'm gonna handle her while we get off the bus. It's on site, whatever. Like on site means like it's I'm gonna fight on whatever." So I'm getting off the bus, whatever. I have all right to defend myself. I have all right to defend myself, to make sure that nothing happens to me at the well-being of myself, and it's only right. So she has a weapon. I have my mace. I have my hands. Whatever. So at the time I got off the bus and I'm going to my destination. She's like, what's going on? What you wanna do? What you wanna do? So she's in my face and she's trying to fight, whatever, and I'm just quiet. I'm just like, whatever happens, happens, and if I defend myself, I'm going to defend myself. And so she said little words, whatever. I said something. I said, why are you bothering me? Why you, you know, trying to start with me? And she's like, this is my hood. This is my hood. This is my hood. You think you crazy? You think you crazy? So basically, I had gotten to like a confrontation, whatever. I'm making this video because I know that people or someone is out there trying to like make me go through things and make me go through certain things in my life. I know that um, this person particularly wants me to go out there and create trouble or start trouble or whatever. Um, and I know that the person that did that obviously wanted me to go out there and put myself in harm's way. And so what I'm saying to you guys is that for me, I'm trying to be very careful because I don't know who is involved of what or in what at this point. I'm trying to protect myself. I'm not trying to get into any confrontation. So if anything, if I do get into any type of confrontation, I'm only getting into it because I'm trying to protect myself rather, and I'm not trying to get myself into something that I know it could be avoided. So with that being said and done, I'm trying to make sure that this is on YouTube. I'm trying to make sure that any other kind of conflict that I may have, because I don't want to continue, because every day it seems like something happens and then it continues on. So, one day if I have people staring at me, the next day it's going to continue on. So, yesterday someone threatened me. I'm almost got into an altercation of fighting. It's going to continue on. So I don't want it to be it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a pattern, but I'm trying to, like, have it on YouTube and have my, story out there, because gang stalking is very serious, and electronic harassment is very serious if it's in the wrong hands. So I don't believe that it's in the FBI or the CIA that's watching me. I don't believe that. I believe that someone um, had it, and knows people that are like on that level, and just happen to, like, target an individual like that. And once again, I said it's my neighbors. I believe it's my neighbors because they are the main people that I have a problem with personally. And for me to, like, even get into any conflict like that just out of the blue was like I don't get into conflict like that. My family, we don't really get into any situation unless I have to, or unless, like, I'm trying to save my life. But other than that, I'm just keeping this on file. I'm keeping everything on file. My daughter, she's at her grandmother's house at the time. So I'm thinking of the next time I probably have my daughter outside, what would happen, or how would I, avoid that type of negativity, that kind of conflict towards with her, because any parent don't want, their, to have any type of problems while their kids is with them. And my at this case, I thank God my daughter wasn't with me at the time, but um, it's I thank God how it went, and I thank God that it go escalated because the cops were down the block. And so I thank God that I held my anger in, more or less, but I felt like you know I feel like it will happen again. So me saying that, I know I'm just in my house and just trying to think of ways to avoid people like that, because I know it's going to be more. But just stay tuned, and I'll just keep you guys updated on my game stalking. Um, yeah, and let me know how to avoid certain things like that, and avoid people that are trying to manipulate and make me look crazy or whatnot, and make me uh, come out of character properly. All right, thank you guys, and thank you for watching. Bye.